Good evening, everybody. I'm Edgar Fernandez. I'm participating as a um, candidate for the 2008 PO Western Region Councillor. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk to some colleagues, and actually, one of them he's an expert in compliance. And actually, we have close to a 45 minutes an hour conversation about how we see PO nowadays and how the others, actually other people see it. I have the opportunity to talk to some. Some, fortunately, they have phoned me. Few of them, not too many. There is no reason to be arrogant and say, oh, many people have called me. But at least I have talked to 10 people about this. And obviously, through the time of debates next week. So um, people start meeting you, and some of them they have they trust, and they approach, and then they ask some questions, and they express some concerns. Actually, I just finished my Periscope stream, so I'm gonna post this video as well in LinkedIn, because sometimes Periscope do some strange things. So they stop the video, so I'm gonna post this one as well. Um, well, there were some, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fundamental points that we discussed actually yesterday during our conversation. But the first one is actually he was asking me. He said, all engineers should be licensed, and my answer was nope. If they are not practicing engineering, they should be licensed. I mean, they should be um, reporting. But no, I'm confused. Yeah, the question was should be licensed all engineers in Ontario? Absolutely yes. That was the question, and my answer was yes. All of them, they should be licensed. And the reason why, it's because that doesn't mean that you are practicing or non-practicing. That's different question, different topic. So you should be licensed because you are carrying the title of engineer. You finish a bachelor's degree in engineering. Therefore, you should be licensed. Absolutely. And that's one of the fundamental issues nowadays, because we are facing the issue that many of the new graduates, they are not interested to get licensed on their PO to become a professional engineers. And that's something that we need to solve. Because at one point during that process, they are working in a company and they are providing knowledge, actually. They are getting experience in engineering, designing, analyzing, building, researching, inventing, all those type of words that they are under our definition. So they should be licensed, absolutely, because it's a profession that is self-regulated. So the second topic actually that we discuss regarding to this question is, and it's something that I have, it's nothing against anybody, I mean, don't get me wrong, but this is something that I have seen, and actually I was expressing that to him and to other engineers as well, that they are not related with PO at all in terms of being volunteers. They are engineers that are licensed, they work, they have their own businesses, but for one reason to another, they are not involved with PO as a volunteers. So the second question actually was regarding to this topic: what PO is doing to convince the students once the profession is so important. And not students about from the 8th semester, 9th semester. No, students from the first semester. Students that they are studying the engineering path. So there is debates that PO is a promoter, is a self-regulated body. So as a self-regulated body or a governing body, we don't promote, we regulate. Well, I totally disagree on that because PO has the duty to promote these regulations, make the students aware about what engineering means, what means to be a self-regulated profession, and how is so important. Yeah, so PO has the duty to promote. And sometimes we debate, oh, it's OSPE, it's PO, it's not our duty. And no. Those discussions doesn't help with the fundamental issues that we have that deserve our attention quickly. And this is other two. First, all the engineers should be licensed. Absolutely, yes. Second, we have to promote the importance of the profession, the importance to be self-regulated, and the importance of being an engineer, the duties that we carry through the new engineer students at any university. So yeah, we need to promote. That's PEO. It's not OSPE, it's PEO. It's PEO. And not only to the students. That's the third question actually that we discuss, the third topic. To the industry, to talk to various industries in Ontario, and then that's to promote that this profession is self-regulated. We have regulations, we have bylaws as well, right? And we have a code of ethics. And the importance of this profession, and the importance to help to have to use us as a resource to solve problems for them, to make them better, and to protect the public of them as well. The public of the safety of the public, right? So yeah, we have job to do, promote. Yeah, we should promote this as a body, as a government uh, regulated body. Yes, and as PO duty. Some they won't agree. I said everything. I'm not waiting that everybody agrees with me, but at least I'm touching the point. I'm bringing the point to the table for discussion. Absolutely. Next, fourth point that is related to this. What does mean practicing engineering in the current age? Fundamental questions to answer. What does it mean practicing engineering in the current age? In other words, do we know the necessities of our society? We track them. We have talked to them. As any business, maybe some they're gonna disagree. As like I said, I'm not waiting that everybody agrees with me. In the business nowadays, you want to be successful as a business, as a owner of your business. You cannot push products. So in other words, you need to see through the eyes of your potential clients, know what you think about certain problems. So when I said we went touch that point, actually, it's the regulator needs to find the necessities of the society that is related to this topic, to this question, to this fundamental question is, so we need to see through the eyes of the society. And that's when you want to start finding real issues. And real, I won't, not real issues, real opportunities they're gonna make PO better in the future. So, example, what we're gonna do as a regulator for the engineering when some companies they already started using augmented and virtual technology. Let me explain that, because in the morning I was in another networking group they call the new economy, and we were talking about that point. We analyzed some videos, some technology. Nowadays, actually, that day, yesterday, the same morning, one of my colleagues in the safety profession, he's an engineer actually in the United States, um, process safety, chemical industry. They Now there is a hard hat, safety hard hat, right? With the integrated safety glasses. On top, they have lenses for the augmented reality. So now you can go to the to the facility and start discussing one process of one specific equipment. Would say a pump, and the pump is failing constantly, frequently. So now you go with 5 engineers. Everybody has the same hard hat, right? I mean, obviously 5 hard hats with the same function, and then you grab the pump, you pull it out in the in the augmented and virtual technology, and you can say at the same time, okay, what's the story of this pump? Give me the story of the maintenance of this pump and how and the results that we have got from those from maintenance. What was it? What the problems were and how we fixed them. And you have the story, right? The history of that pump. And then, okay, so tell me how often we have changed properties of the specific liquid that is being pumped from that equipment. Okay, we have changed this process many times. This is the parameters, etc. Okay, and properties of the liquid. Perfect. Okay. Um, how many times we have delayed maintenance, etc. 5 engineers at the same time communicated at the same time to fix one problem. Okay. And that day, the same day, we were explaining that. And actually, I was telling the same example to these people. And one guy, not engineer, he said, and what's going to happen with you guys when you put on a robot in the middle and you eliminate 5 engineers? Okay, that is interesting. And actually, I was discussing this yesterday, and I agreed. I 100% agree that robots cannot make ethical decisions. In December of last year, 2017, I hope that everybody is aware that there was a conference in India, and the conference was provided by a robot. The name is Sonia. I think it's first generation. Yeah, it was quite impressive, but quite disturbing as well. So when we ask this question, what does mean practicing engineering in the current age? And this type of technology, like the augmented and virtual technology, is coming and it's happening. It's going through our eyes. How that means for us? How we're gonna adjust? How we're gonna regulate now the profession? We cannot regulate the profession as 1923, 1960s, 1990s, or 2000. Sorry, we cannot. No, we need to answer these fundamental questions. Companies like Google have survived. Companies like Microsoft, like Apple have survived. They are the leaders now. I don't know in the future, but for now they are the leaders. Companies like Nokia died. They were leaders, and then they didn't adjust to the reality, and they are done. Can happen to PO? Absolutely can happen. Yes. And we can lose our self-regulatory status, and after, what will happen with the engineers? How we want to adjust? Are we communicating with universities as well? What our PhDs at the universities are doing? That's tremendous knowledge there. Tremendous knowledge. Are we had taken advantage of that? to adjust the to regulate our profession. I need to bring this topic to the table. Sorry, I'm not. You can disagree, absolutely, but it's something that needs to be discussed at least. Okay. Fourth, right? Is many people advocate about safety. I'm a safety professional, so I have the authority to say this. Absolutely, because I'm CRSP and CSP as well. I'm professional engineer. And I have found disturbing that in our PO council, we don't know the definition of competency. And let me bring the definition here. Green Book, Ontario OH&S Act and Regulation. I have heard many of those, many people saying, the engineer is qualified. No, 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 no. I'm sorry that I'm to get emotional or to get excited, but because this is one of my topics. Actually, it's one of my duties to know this as a professional engineer and as a safety professional as well. So yeah, I'm considering myself an expert on this because I have a designation and I have 2 certificates that support that. And by the way, I report as well to those associations, those boards. They call boards. So it's my duty to know this, and that's part of my job actually, to help the industries and the companies to know this. And I'm gonna go through that in 1 minute. Okay, yes. Definition. What competent person means is a qualified because of knowledge, training, and experience to organize the work and its performance. Second, is familiar with this act and the regulations that apply to the work, and has knowledge of any potential or actual danger to the health or safety in the workplace. So this is the government. So you say it's a qualified engineer and you don't demonstrate the other 2 components of this definition, we are in troubles. And that happened with the Yellow Clay case. Sorry to bring that. And I'm still finding after that we have issues with that, by not knowing what competency means under the eyes of the governor Minister of Labor. So we discussed that yesterday. So one of the topics, another fundamental question is, safety is divorced from engineering? Let me rephrase this question. How do you think that we protect the public of the safety of the public, referring to the OH&S Act and regulation? So if we don't know, as an engineers, as a regulated body, councillors, and other positions, what this book means, if somebody from the society, that could be the Minister of Labor, ask you how you protect the public of the safety, you don't know this, that's a fundamental question that is going to be very embarrassed not to answer. So my suggestion on that, if I win, I can train everybody on this one. That's my duty. That's my duty. And it's the duty of everybody to get trained on this. This is mandatory in 2015 from the Minister of Labor to the industry. Whoever supervised people is a supervisor. Needs to get trained on that. Engineers are not exception. We supervise people. We supervise projects. So you should know better what this book means. I'm not asking memorize the OH&S Act. No. It's what the components of this book are. And these fundamental questions of competent people, person means. Because if not, it's the question is how do we know? How do we protect the public or the safety when we don't know a fundamental question that what is a competence? Okay. So that is a divorce from safety. So we don't know the regulations and we don't know the three components of competent person. Um, so, so we have an issue there. And that should be actually part of our plan as well. Absolutely. Because this is something that is very scary that I have found in many engineers. Yeah. So that takes me to the another fundamental question that we discussed yesterday. How do we show accountability of our work? I support PIC 100%. No doubt about it. But there are people that they don't support PIC. So of those who don't support PIC, um, it's a point to start. Actually, it's a good point. It's a good place to start. But there is another components on this: how we show due diligence, standard of care, and accountability. Because really, when we don't accept, everybody says, "Oh, we should." I mean, as a professional engineers, we are accountable for our job. We don't need peak, etc., etc. Well, but still, we have issues in the industry. I mean, that the Elliot Lake case happened, but how do we know the other people are doing the same? So we need to be accountable on our work. And PO obviously has a right to ask that accountability because we are licensed. So if I want to ask these questions to the people who are not agree with PEAK. So please, what you proposed? What is the better? Should if there is a better mechanism to demonstrate to the society, to the government, that and to the other professions, obviously, that we are accountable for our work. If there is a better system, we need, as a PO, we should welcome those proposals, absolutely. But we cannot go and say, I'm not agree with this because I'm not agree. Because this is a fundamental question from the society and has been asked for the Minister of Labor. That's so important. We are not seeing the big picture here. We want to maintain the status quo. That's very dangerous. If that's to maintain the status quo, well, we we should analyze that status quo from the risk-based approach. What's going to be the consequence of that approach, and what could happen as that consequence? Risk rank it, and if the risk ranking is low, well, you shouldn't worry about because we won't lose the self-regulated status. But if the risk ranking is high, we should be worried about it. So I think, I don't want to be disturbing people or disturbing the PO, but I'm communicating the concern from other engineers outside about this. Experienced people, not any young engineer. Young engineer, they have their own issues that I actually I communicated already. So how engineering practicing means in the current age, they couldn't find a job. So we educate people, and then they couldn't find a job. So as a regulator body, we have the duty to analyze that. Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. It's not OSPE, or we OSPE and PO together. You name it, no problem. But absolutely, we need to sit down and analyze that. Like, okay. Because that's another fundamental question that we need to answer. So, what's going to be the future of engineering in Canada? What we are doing right now as an engineers, we go to the companies and we sit down, and what we do? Who's doing the engineering in Canada, in Ontario? That's another fundamental question that we need to answer, and we need to go and find that answer. to our colleagues and asking to our society. So safety is very important. I suggest and I propose that every PO council member of the council in 2018 needs to be trained, needs to get trained on this. We can't ignore that because it's going to happen again. Accountability, like I said, so okay, you don't agree with PIC, please propose. Because the same, I don't agree with many things of PO, but at least I'm proposing. So for example, to convince students why profession is important, we can use the chapters. Go to those universities, talk to them, organize activities, bring them, ask them, help them, coach them, teach them. Another fundamental topic that we discussed yesterday, proactiveness. Normally, when changes happen, we go to the fast brain instead of the slow brain. Fast brain is we react, we correct, but we don't prevent. Now, by saying that, I'm not saying that everything that PO has done is bad. No. It actually, there have been good efforts. Have been fundamental changes, like, for example, the harassment that is now in the Act of the Engineering. That's a fundamental change because still we are suffering harassment. But that was a fundamental change that was done by one of the members of the council, and actually that is a fundamental change, absolutely. So we need to do some changes like that. We need to do more changes like that. So now we need to go to the slow brain. So we have the 2018-2020 action plan that is good, that is better, that is actually outstanding. But what we see PO in 10 years, because these changes or these fundamental, these issues or these questions that our members outside they have, there are issues that we cannot fix overnight. They cannot be fixed, not even in 5 years. It's a 10-year plan. Obviously, you split it in maybe 2 years, 3 years, like, you know. So we can call it 20 by 5 or 20 by 10. 20% is being done in every 2 years. Actually, one of the companies that I work one day with, in the past, they have a safety problem actually. In the corporation, they make a program they call 25 by 4. Just, they make a plan for 5 years, and every year they're going to accomplish 25%. And at the end of the 20%, at the end of the 5 years, they accomplish the 100%. That type of plan we need to have in place. But analyzing all of these fundamental questions that our people have outside. So we need to refresh maybe what the ring ceremony means. This ring. That means accountability for sure, absolutely. Responsibility and duty. And it's something that reminds us to be ethical as well. So accountability is very important. So we need to revive what is to be an engineer, what's engineering, and that's PO job. Absolutely. Revive the understanding, revive the what that means, and the most important thing is how we support that. How we're gonna make new engineers to enjoy PH, not to join, enjoy. feel proud to be licensed. Yeah. Because now with this, everybody can tell me, yeah, we are proud. Yeah, I know. I'm proud too, absolutely. But new engineers are not interested to become engineers. I have heard actually that PO is becoming irrelevant. You know, it's not only from one person. I have heard it from 10 engineers. Imagine PO is becoming irrelevant. Wow. So how we support that? How we support our engineers? Because when you have that type of answers, it means lack of support. I mean, we need to be at the same time be honest. We need to speak with the cold truth, with the cold honesty, right? And make analyze that. That's when it's cause and consequences. What causes? What causes all these type of answers, and what the consequence of those answers for the PEO? What's going to be the consequences? And what actions we need to take in the future? There are corrective actions, preventive actions, and sometimes there are predictive actions. Those are the three we need to start thinking about it. Still, and then start making those plans for 10 years. Regulator needs to find the necessities of the society as well. We need to see through the eyes of them. So how we're going to resolve the problem that our new students, new graduates, they are not finding jobs? Because economy is changing. The oil is not working anymore. Companies, they are becoming thin, lighter. There are companies now, they don't have offices. You work from home. I have, they said that there are going to be a lot of work, but not too many jobs. What that does mean? What does that mean? Sorry. That means is I want to hire you, your services, so like a contractor when I need you. If I don't need you, I don't need to take. I don't need to keep you at the office, pay you benefits. I mean, that's a reality. That means when it's going to be a lot of work, few jobs. So how we want to prepare our students to adjust to that reality, or how the better lab, because that's OSPE obviously and PO together. So the entrepreneurship program is paramount and critical for PO. The entrepreneurship committee and PO is critical. It's one of the critical committees because that's going to be the committee that should find those answers. How we want to teach our new graduates to become an entrepreneurs using, promote obviously being engineers as well. How are we going to do that? There are no jobs. There are no work. No jobs. Now, as a regulator, how we want to react to that? What plans we have? So now, imagine this scenario. Okay, so now there are no jobs. There are a lot of work. So that means that I want to go as a contractor. That means that I need to have a CFA, certificate of authorization, and then if I need to call myself consultant, I need to get the consultant permission from PO to use that word, right? How are we gonna act? There's gonna be more and more and more, and how are we gonna track that, right? How are we gonna regulate that? Don't get me wrong, it's being regulated right now, but it's gonna be more and more and more, and maybe consulting with this technology is gonna change. So how are we gonna adjust to those changes? And that doesn't happen overnight. So my proposal, actually, whoever wins to these PO elections, so obviously I hope to win, but whoever wins doesn't matter. So I'm proposing why you don't create a committee to see all these disrupting changes. Yeah, like there are companies actually. Um, one of that I worked actually is really good for that. They have a disrupted department. Somebody who's creating technology, but somebody who's tracking these changes, these trends, these fundamental changes. So PO, I think, should do that. Should create a committee or OSPE or together. I would say it's in conjunction of PO and OSPE because both they have something to contribute and have this task force together and start analyzing those trends because changes are happening as fast as they are happening as we speak, and we need to adapt to that because if not, we can lose the self-regulation status for sure. Um, in terms of the actually, I forgot what practicing engineer in the current age, or what's the role of engineers nowadays. So another issue that I had, these guys actually expressed me, and yesterday with the colleague that I was talking to, the same. So you see a company that is posting a job, and they say I require a process engineer should be licensed by PH, and actually they don't call us a license. They call should be PH, and that's it. But really, it's not like I want to hire a PH because he's an engineer, he's licensed, and he's under this type of duties and it's self-regulated, so they need to comply with this act. No, it's only to segregate competition. Okay, you're a PH, don't apply. That's it. When you start, becomes irrelevant. That's true. So as a PO, I think we can do a better job of communicating that. That's another job that we need to do. It's not OSPE, it's us, PO. We create the acts. We say what duties we have. We said who's licensed and who's not. So our job is to go and promote that. Not as a profession, is the regulation of engineers and what that means. And we have a code of ethics and make the industry to know, to be knowledgeable of those regulations. That's our job. And those there are like I agree. When I'm collecting all this information from my colleagues, that's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 fundamental questions that we need to answer, and we need to work to find a solution of that. If I win, I promise one thing. So I wanna be who I am. I'm gonna be responsible to carry my duties. That's the thing I promise to you, to everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. Have an excellent night. Please vote. The voting period ends on February 23rd at 4 p.m. You are getting email blasting emails, blastings in your email inboxes is because you haven't voted. People who have voted already, they are not getting this blast. So that's the reason why. But please vote, because also if you want to make a better country, you need to vote. If you want to make a PO stronger every day, you need to vote. You need to exercise your duties. You need to carry your duties for sure. Thank you very much, everybody. Have an excellent day. See you next time. Bye.